You know, one day Pastor Debo asked me, we said, what do you want for your birthday? I said, sir, there are some messages you preach to your ministers. You don't sell. It's not available. Can I have those messages? He said, you have asked for a hard thing. They said, we'll send you just the last one. What I heard, I can't share it. Listen, what I heard him say, which means that redeemed is not just by, are you following what I'm saying here? They are saying things. At the beginning, he said, if anybody prints out their phone, tell us, we'll lock him up until we finish the 3 days, then we'll release him. That's how deep the things were. Are you following what I'm saying here? You know what social media is for? That's what Pastor Roger was saying that people don't get. You know, when you want to catch fish, you put bait. You get what I'm saying? Because that's to the world. So you cut the part of the message that is like a bait that people will hear, that easily they will understand, that they will get it. But that's not the substance of what you are doing. Are you following what I'm saying here? Yes, that's what he's talking about. You put out the hooks there. But when they come in and they're already hooked, then they come in. Then you say, when people I was trained, I gave them a task. They say, Pastor, you didn't say this. I said, by yourself you registered. By yourself you came in here. I didn't say you should come. And now you can't go. Because if you set your hand to the plow and you look back, I said, you are no longer fit for the kingdom. So we are going into this one. But you will come out as a better person. Are you following what I'm saying here? Leadership is about getting people together to accomplish something. But not only do people accomplish something, each person improves dramatically because they belong to that team. David's men at the beginning were the worst set of people. And what God was teaching David was that you're a sole contributor. You succeeded by the bear, the lion. It was just you. It was only you that killed Goliath. It was just you. When you played for the demon to leave Saul, it was just you. But if you are going to become what you are going to become, it can't just be you alone. Except a corn of wheat falls to the ground and dies, it abides alone. It's when it dies it can become fruitful. Fruitfulness there means you have translated from an isolated approach to a corporate approach. So he said, I will give you the worst of people are better than you alone. Did you hear what I said? But David trained them. That's what he was talking about. And by the end, people that were in debt, the worst people, go and read what they said later on. They said mighty men of valor. They were describing what they could do to thousands of people at once. One man. Do you get what I'm saying here? You can't fake ministry. You can't package ministry. Let me tell you what will happen if you do packaging. And I'll close with this. Somebody told me a story. An elderly man came to an expensive dental clinic in Lagos. The dentist wanted to give an injection. The dentist asked, Baba. So the children brought their father. Baba, what did you eat this morning? Have you eaten? Baba said, yes. What did you eat? Baba looked around. This is an expensive place. He said, I had cornflakes. I had fried eggs, sausages. So I said, okay, Baba, don't worry. We just wanted to know what you ate so we can give you the injection. They gave Baba the injection. What came out was pap, beans. Life will inject you, no matter what you package. If you package sausages, bacon, fried eggs, when life injects you, what is inside you will come out. Father, most important thing is eyes that see. You know, I think it was Pastor Ebiem, I heard him. I know. Maybe at the last, I was watching this online ministers conference in Canaan land. I think, yes, he said it. He said, I've only asked Bishop Oyedepo a question once. He said every other thing I've gotten it by observation. When people ask too many questions, they don't understand what is going on. You see, if a person is asking too many questions, the problem is, if you answer that question, another question will come. Now, let me show you the importance of eyes that see, because not all labor leads to spiritual profit and impact. But a person who has impact is laboring. Do you understand what I'm saying? But not all labor leads to impact. There is works of works, but there is grace works. And when people don't understand grace, they think that grace means I don't work. By the grace of God, it happens. Do you get what I'm saying? I tell people, okay, if you want to define it that way, all right, no problem. Let me explain to you. If a pilot brings us and lands the plane, everything is smooth. He says, we landed by the grace of God. We say, yes, we thank you, Lord. We landed by what? The grace. Abi, you agree now? If I say I landed by, isn't it by the grace of God? Grace of God. So tomorrow, a carpenter goes to the cockpit and says, let's go to Lagos from Warri. By the grace of God, we'll get there. Will you enter? But you say you landed by the grace of God now. Are you following what I'm saying here? Which means that grace must produce skill. So let me show you this quickly, just quickly, so we'll get this here. 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 10. Paul said this: but by the grace of God I am what I am, and his grace towards me was not in vain, but I labored more abundantly than ye all. Yet not I, but the grace of God which was in me. So if you went to Paul and you saw him, the work rate and work ethic of Paul was beyond anybody. That's if you are moving with Paul, you will know that this man's work ethic is higher than everybody. However, in that work ethic and work rate, you will see that he's relaxed. You will see that, he's not flustered, he's relaxed, but he's working. Call him at 2 a.m., he picks the phone, he's working. But at the same time, looks refreshed. Now, but he told them. Now, but look at Romans chapter 11, verse 5. But what type of work was he doing? Romans 11, verse 5. So that at this present time, there is a remnant according to the election of grace. Next verse. It says, and if it's by grace, then it's no longer of works. Otherwise, grace is no longer grace. But if it's of works, it's no longer grace. Otherwise, work is no longer work. Next verse. What then? Israel hath not obtained that which it seeketh, but the elect have obtained it, and the rest were what? Blinded. In other words, a person who is operating in what I call grace works. Grace works now. Their eyes, first of all, has been opened. What they are doing is what God opened their eyes to do what? To see. So when you get to a juncture in your ministry, you go to him in prayer, that God, open my eyes that I may see. And you are going to see something that for that particular season is appropriate for you. You get into it and you experience what is a quantum leap. After some time, that season can cease. And then that person goes again to God in prayer. So you can find a person, please understand, many people don't understand. A minister saying, look, I said it with my mouth that we'll never open branches in Covenant Nation. I open my mouth to say it. But now, if one guy who had been in church, he saw me in America, he said, why did you change? I said, listen, first of all, let God be true, every man a liar. I am a man, I am not God. It is God that changeth not. That's the Bible now. Are you following what I'm saying here? Anything any man says, he's saying it for a season. Are you following what I'm saying here? That pronouncement is for a what? Season. In the book of in the book of Acts, when Paul was doing miracles, they were putting, the Bible says, and when this thing ceased, it was a season. So you understand this? It's a season. So you go to him and God opens your eyes and says, this is the next thing. You enter into that next thing. As you enter into it, you will see a surge. If you enter into it, finances won't be a problem. Are you following what I'm saying here? Money will begin to come. In fact, if you pick it, hear what I'm saying, in the spirit and decide to do it, you will, let's just assume now, okay? If it's not yet your time to do building and you go into it, you'll be struggling. If it's your time to do building and you enter into it and you just accept from God, we are going to enter into building, you will just see that people can come and meet you and say, aren't you ready to build anything? Here is are you following what I'm saying here? Now that's grace works. If it's not that season, you are doing works. Are you following what I'm saying here? So works is that you are not in sync with what God is doing at that time. So if somebody else grace works is to enter building and your own is to do training, do you get what I'm saying? So you listen, you can have a person tell you, you'll be shocked, that we were 500, we built a building of 5,000, in 3 weeks it was full. Now you think that building therefore is what will bring people. Are you following what I'm saying here? Then you go and build, you are sweating on it. Is works what? Works. So once you come to that point, now let me show you. It says the rest were blinded, so the eyes were opened up. So go to Ecclesiastes chapter 10 and verse 15. Let me just show you what it says here. It says the labor of the foolish man wearies all of them, for he doesn't even know how to go into where? The city. Now, so you've been laboring, the person is laboring, doing all kinds of things. Eyes have not been opened. A man was in New York. You know, your church can be planted in a place where you can't do door-to-door evangelism because it's gated estate. And the right trespassers will be if you go and knock on their gate, they will come. Are you following what I'm saying here? God has to open your eyes what you do to penetrate inside, where in their sitting rooms. Are you following what I'm saying? So look at this. I'm bringing this to a Genesis chapter 19 verse 10 to verse 11. There is nothing worse than, it says, the remnant. You see that remnant we see. The remnant. You see, in anything that happens, is only a remnant. Is a remnant that carries a generation. There is a remnant that carries a generation. Any man of God, there may be 2,000 people surrounding him, is the remnant that will show what that man represents. Do you understand what I'm saying? There is a principle of what? The remnant. Anytime God is doing something, he does it through a core group that represents the whole.